Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Dear friends, welcome to this live broadcast from Tabarwa, Cinquefrande, located in South Italy. I am Bhante Varrapanyo, and today we will be practicing some meditation together and listening to some Buddhist teachings as well. We will start with paying homage to the Buddha. Then we will go into a guided meditation. So I invite you to bring your hands together and we will begin. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham saranam gacchami. So an often left out part of the meditation practice is the preparation. There is a really strong culture in the West of being interested in spirituality or Buddhism or enlightenment and taking the primary path of focusing on meditation. And while some people do have success with this, it is not really the best model to approach meditation. And it's certainly not what Buddhism teaches. So, unless we have a relationship in our lives with generosity, meditation is going to be really difficult. And what generosity means is that we are not just living life for ourselves. Our mental, physical, and verbal possessions, so things that we hear, ideas that we have, actions that we take, that we are attached to for ourselves, things that we like to say or like to hear for ourselves. If we do not have a relationship with giving these away, with offering these out, with sharing what we have, what we grasp onto, what we hold on to in our normal everyday life, then we will be binded by grasping, by attachment, by contraction, by constriction. And so generosity is not just, being nice to people or helping people or, okay, you want me to meditate and you're telling me to be a good person. It's not just that. It's that when we act on generosity, we break the chain of clinging. we break the chain of desire. We break the chain of self-fixation. And we do that because generosity is kind of defined by something precious, something valuable that you yourself, your identity, is holding on to. It can be an object. It can be a certain way of thinking. It can be a state of mind. It can be a certain way that you spend your time. It can be all kinds of different things, but especially it's good to work with objects or possessions because these are very gross. Sometimes they are very gross, but they're certainly very, you can pick it up and hold it and, oh, this is mine, this is important to me, this is precious to me, right? There's an attachment there, there's a grasping there. And then you take that object of your grasping and you give it away. Now, when you do this, the object is there, the giver is there, the receiver there, but that's not the most important point. The most important point is that you are exercising detachment. You are exercising a willingness to experience contraction or experience grasping, experience holding on to, right? Like this is mine, this is I, this is self, and then the giving away of that. You are experiencing the knot, and you are experiencing the loosening of the knot, the ending of the knot. So this is really important for meditation. And unless we have that capacity in ourselves to have a desire, have a fear, have an object that we are attached to, for the better or for the worse, it's not just things that we like, and then to give that away, we cannot regulate our behavior. Understand? Because the only way of being that we will be feeding and acquainted with and cultivating is grasping, is me, mine, I. I want this, I don't want that. And so that is like a very strong habit energy. There's so much momentum there, so that if you do try to sit down and meditate, it's going to be stressful and very difficult and unlikely to be enjoyable, which meditation is supposed to be enjoyable and interesting. So from generosity, we can start to regulate our mental, physical, and verbal actions. And this is what prepares us. This is the preparation for the meditation mind, or for practicing meditation. So the fifth precept is do not take intoxicants. So is it don't take intoxicants because you'll go to heaven or you'll go to hell? Or is it don't take intoxicants because you might trip and fall and break a bone or something? Well, it's really, in terms of becoming enlightened and developing on the path, it's really a matter of meditation is going to be very difficult if you are drunk or high. And the same with the fourth precept of sexual misconduct. If you're causing suffering for yourself or for others by having a sexual energy that is out of control, you're not going to be ready to meditate. If you are speaking harshly, spending a lot of time in idle chatter, talking about nonsense, if you're lying to yourself or to others, it's going to be very difficult to sit down and meditate at that time. If you're stealing, if you're taking from others, if you're cultivating that mind of this greedy desire, and it almost has like an anger in it because we're taking from someone else, right? You're not going to be able to meditate internally or externally. You will be afraid of what's going to happen because you've stolen. And if we are going around killing, taking life, murdering, This will also not bring about, even if it's for animals or small beings, any kind of intentional killing, harming. You will not be ready to practice meditation. So these precepts are not just there because, well, you want to be enlightened, so you should be a good person. It's not that. It's that if you want to have success in the spiritual path, if you want to go to higher levels of meditation, higher levels of insight, of wisdom, you need to practice generosity. You need to follow the 5 precepts. And then we're in a position where meditation isn't this kind of fight or self-help routine or self-improvement routine, but it's actually a way that we touch the joy and the peace and the freshness and the loveliness inside of ourselves at this moment. So I hope that everyone is prepared to meditate. And if you notice that your meditation mind, your feelings or your experiences that you get in meditation are quite difficult and unmanageable, it may not be that you need to grit your teeth and go to a meditation retreat, a 10-day Vipassana retreat or something like that. It may be that you need to calm down and look at how you're practicing dana and sila, or if you're not practicing them at all. And that will be the root cause of why you are not able to practice meditation skillfully. That's for sure. Do we have any question about dana, sila, before we get into our meditation practice together? It may also be nice if we are by our computer or our phone, maybe we can put what country we're joining in from. That would be nice to see, kind of how many different points on the globe are gathered here to practice together. Actually, at least for me, my ideal meditation life and practice is it's a little bit fun. It's being inspired, it's enjoying, it's feeling wonderful. So, dana or generosity, what can that entail? In a Buddhist context, it can certainly entail supporting monks and nuns. So, making donations to monks and nuns, whether that is food or resources or whatever is precious to you, whatever is valuable to you, you can offer to the monk and nun. We can also practice generosity in a similar way towards people who may be homeless, people who we may encounter on the street that have a difficult situation, and we can donate something to them. Maybe not money, maybe some food, maybe some kindness, some attention. If we have a skill, if our time is particularly valuable according to a certain skill we have, then we can offer that skill. We can let the other person know. We can let the group know, um, I have this ability or this skill, and I can offer it. I can share it. But the point we want to, the point that we want to understand about generosity, about dana, is that it is the giving itself. It is the offering itself. It is the sharing itself. It is the showing up itself. It's not about any particular situation or particular activity. I mean, you can clean your room as an act of generosity. You can go for a walk as an act of generosity. But as we're in that starting point, right, as we're at that beginning point, just keep it as simple and as grounded as you can. Donate, volunteer, give away your possessions. Share, give out what is precious to you, what is valuable to you. And the plus benefit that is often taught in Buddhism is that when we are donating to the Sangha, when we are volunteering or giving, concerned with the Sangha, concerned with the Buddhist monastery or the temple or the monk, we are concerning ourselves with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. We are, maybe investing is not the right word, but we are getting involved. We are creating karmic links with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, which has a primary direction of going towards enlightenment. But develop the relationship that you have with generosity in your own life. And donating is not a dirty word. Generosity is not a dirty word. Making donations, volunteering, offering and sharing your possessions is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's to be celebrated. It's to be done more and more. And this dana also ties into doing good deeds. So generosity, a way of generosity is doing good deeds. Doing actions of generosity, doing actions of sharing, helping, cooperating, caring. Deep listening can also be like that. And then as we get more involved and engaged and stabilized by doing actions of generosity, doing good deeds in as whatever way that we can now, and finding out what ways we can do good deeds now. You can pick up trash from the street. You can clean public toilets. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do. When we develop that capacity for doing good deeds, now we're bringing in doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment. So doing only, experiencing only, cleaning only, walking only, breathing only, volunteering only. And this is where we get into the wisdom or insight influenced dana, and that's really the most powerful way to do. Doing without expectation, doing without desire, doing without fear, doing only and experiencing only, not really having expectation. But if we do have expectation, that's okay. We still get the benefits from doing good deeds. We still get the benefits from helping, from supporting. Tobacco is, nicotine is usually in the Buddhist community not considered to be an intoxicant. So it may be surprising for our Western audience here, and also in Vietnam, I think this is less common, but my first Ajahn, the temple where I ordained and where I first lived, Ajahn Jack, he loved smoking cigarettes. I mean, he kind of encouraged me to smoke cigarettes at that time, early in my monastic life. So it's it's an unexpected situation if you go to Myanmar, encouraged is a little bit strong, but when you're looking to that person as a teacher and that's what they're doing, I mean, you kind of tend to follow, right? But in Myanmar and Thailand, it's very normal for monks to smoke cigarettes, and it's also very common for them to use something called betel nut. So it's apparently very common in Southeast Asia, and it's a certain nut that is then put with lime and sprinkles of tobacco, kind of like chewing tobacco, and then they chew on that all day. Many monks do like that. So I'm certainly not encouraging anyone to start using nicotine or smoke tobacco, and especially if you're smoking, try to transition out of that to vaping or nicotine gum, or just reduce, because inhaling smoke like that is really bad for our health. But that becoming intoxicated, it's really talking about like alcohol specifically. So if you consider you want to follow the 5 precepts, then you should not be drinking alcohol for sure. And then also things like weed or marijuana, that's a big no-no for non-intoxication. In Buddhism, there is no regulation about medicine. So if you're taking something medicinally in an informed way with the support of a doctor, a professional, what have you, that is a medicine, and it's not something that that Buddhism has any issues with. And actually, there's a lot of teachings regarding the precepts that the monks follow related to if they're sick or not. So a lot of the precepts of the 227, the patimoksha, are only, you only break them if you break them while you are healthy. Or excuse me, yeah, that's right. If you're sick, then it doesn't really matter. It's not a breach of the precepts very often. And it is a weird notion to go into the realm of the mind, I think, especially from a Western background, a non Buddhist informed background, to go into the realm of the mind and for it not to be about thinking, for it not to be about words and phrases. And that is a big ask. For many people, that's an impossible ask. That's why it's important that if you want to develop in spiritual life, in your meditation life, your enlightenment life, you find a teacher, or you find a well-known person, you find a trusted person of some kind that is a monk or meditation teacher, etc., and then you do what they tell you to do in terms of practice and in terms of following the precepts and how to meditate and these kinds of things. Because this is not a discussion group. The Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are not a discussion group. It is a practice group. It is a practice community. So the more that you practice dana, the more that you practice sila to the best of your abilities as far as you know, and then enter into practice and meditation, that is how relevant your words and phrases will be. And so we can check our mind, and we can check about our experience and our background to see, are we practicing? Are we following precepts? What is our relationship with generosity in our lives? Through practice, not through thinking. And then we will have a much better position from which to ask questions. Psychedelics taken recreationally are not medicines. Psychedelics are not inherently medicines. But if you have the support of a doctor, a professional, in some cases a shaman or something like that, then that's something else. But in general, you're just buying psychedelics or something and taking them. That is not medicinal use. That is just, if you're being generous, experimentation, and if you're being more clear cut, it is destabilizing the mind. So be quite careful about that. Okay, so let's move into our meditation practice together. So we can find our meditation position. And position can be quite important in meditation. So if you're slouched over, if you tend to not give a lot of attention to your posture and the way that your body is, you may automatically be starting off on the wrong foot. So some groups teach posture as the meditation method, but we don't do that here. But I do encourage you to kind of find a comfortable, somewhat upright, somewhat stable position, a little bit regal, a little bit, respectable in some way. You're sitting upright, sitting in a way that makes the mind aware. Let's take a moment to adjust. And I find it helpful to notice or to recognize that this is reality. This is your life. There may be a past, but where's it at? Can you grab it? Can you bring it here? And I hope that we all have a beautiful future ahead of us, but where is the future? Can you see it? Can you hear it? Can you experience it? So this is your life. This is reality. And meditation is a way of being with reality so that we can know about our mind and body, so that we can develop the relationship that we have with our beloved one, which is precisely the body and mind that we attend to. We may begin by closing our eyes and taking a few deeper breaths, not to exaggerate or hyperventilating. This isn't Wim Hof, but maybe emphasize the breathing. Give a little bit of extra energy to that breathing and feel the breath coming into the body as a whole. You may easily notice your heart beating. And in meditation, we're not looking for anything. We're not waiting for something to happen. It is happening, and we're noticing that. We're becoming more aware that It is happening already. The body is happening with all its different senses, hearing, feeling, seeing, but it will be very helpful if we can close our eyes in a gentle way. And relaxing into reality. And instead of thinking about what's happening or what we are experiencing, let the experiencing itself do whatever it is already doing and experience that. Allow the mind to arrive in the body. Whatever comes up in the mind and whatever comes up in the body, whatever manifests or expresses itself, like listening to birds or the water, listening with the mind. Listening to the listening itself. Allow the rampaging mind to rampage. Allow the breathing body to breathe. Just allowing, just being. There is nothing wrong or right. Just breathing, just aware. Just listening to the listening itself. And attending to the body and mind with kindness, with gentleness. And if we feel we are being dragged away or involved, the breathing is there to settle and resolve that involvement. returning to the breathing. I am home. No matter how far outside your ideal of the mind or your ideal of the body or your meditation go, come back home. The breathing flows in through the nose. We can say, I am remembering. The breathing flows in through the nose, and we can say, I am remembering. Although certain thoughts may come up or certain feelings may come up in the body, be open to adjusting your posture of body or mind, coming back to the breathing and coming back to the kind being with. Even though we get tangled in stories or judgments, coming back to the breath, coming back to our true home, just kind presence to this reality. Brave, open-hearted, open-minded, to just be here, to just take care of ourselves, even if it's only for a moment, to make that moment everything. Each breath, each moment, attending with kindness, experiencing impermanence as thoughts, sensations, feelings arise and pass away. This mind of kind awareness remains, anchored to the practice with each breath. So it is not in meditation that our mind becomes empty, but rather that our response becomes kind awareness, rather than control or disruption or right or wrong. Gentle, kind awareness as the body arrives more and more, as the mind arrives more and more to this sense of justness. And allow your whole being, your whole heart, your whole energetic body and mind to take refuge in this kind and aware space of justness. And the breath is there. Enjoy the oxygen. Breathe as deeply as you like. Allow your body to open and relax. Don't be tense or tight. Relax the body. With each breath, bring the mind and the body home. Just this. Just this moment. Reality. Breathing in free. Breathing out peace. Meditation is not separate from our life. Just as we get dragged into things, involved with people, places, situations, experiences in our lives, and that in a certain sense we need to get involved with these aspects of everything. Our meditation is just like that. However busy the mind is, however much you notice sensations in the body, experiencing kind presence towards whatever arises. And from that place of experiencing with kind presence, the breath is there to come home, to begin again, to be free, to be awake. Not to be at peace, but to be peace. Being peace as a practice. No slowing down, no pumping the brakes, just allowing. The body is natural to be still. The mind is natural to be with the body. The breathing happens naturally without effort or force or even someone to breathe. The breathing is just happening. Listening to the breath. Learning from the experience of breathing right at this moment. Even though it may not be as stimulating as a lot of the opportunities we have in our life, breathing and allowing the body to calm down, to settle, to just be. It's really important. And to know that at this moment we aren't doing this practice alone, but there are others around the world connected to us right at this moment that are also practicing this way. Tap into that collective energy of kind, aware peace. Allow it to go through you. Allow your body and mind to spread out, to widen out, to offer out this body and mind to everything in a way that is so uncomplicated, so natural, so gentle, so kind. Allow the body and mind together to widen out, to brighten out, to peace out. At this time, we can open our eyes if they're closed. We can start to slowly move our body, stretch out a little bit, and you can try massaging your face and also any places in the body which had a pain or a tension. And as we get comfortable, we will open up the space together for questions. And we may also feel comfortable to share our experience or express gratitude. Or to ask a question concerned with Buddhism or meditation. And as you are already here, even if you may not have a question or something to share, you're very invited to continue meditating. While everyone's here, I would also like to announce that we have some special event coming up on Wednesday and also on Friday. So on Wednesday at our usual time, we will be really have a special guest in our community, which will be Ayasoma, who is the co-founder of Buddhist Insights with Bhante Sudaso from New Jersey. And Ayasoma will be coming on a Zoom meeting together with members of our Discord, and we will have an opportunity to learn about her and ask her questions, and also to learn about her current working project of developing a new meditation center for female monks in South Italy. So that will be on Wednesday. Let me check. Wednesday at 7 p.m. So at our usual time on Wednesday, the members of our Discord will be able to join for a Zoom meeting and ask some questions to Ayasoma. And if you are planning to join the Zoom meeting, please be prepared to use your camera and to share your presence so that we can really show out and make Ayasoma feel welcome and learn about our community. And then on Friday at, I believe it will be 8 p.m. on Friday, so an hour after our usual time, at the end of this week, we will have Bhante Sanatavihari, who is a Mexican-American monk from Los Angeles that is doing a lot of work for the Spanish-speaking community around the world, especially in LA, has written a book about Buddhism in Spanish, and is a wonderful monk and friend of mine, and we will have a similar activity and event through Zoom where Bhante Sanatavihari will introduce themselves, maybe share some Dharma, and we'll have an opportunity to ask questions. So please do mark your calendars for that. Also, I made the post on Discord and on the different social media platforms that we finished our fundraiser for Tabarwa, South Italy. We raised $1,000, and that was 1,000 euros about, and that was sent to the main account for the South Italy Center, and that will cover utilities, gas, maybe even some food, electricity. There's car insurance, different yearly bills that come up. So it will go directly to the work that we're doing here in South Italy. So thank you, community, for coming together to bring about that support. I hope that in the future we will have the good conditions to do even more and bigger projects like that for people in need around the world, especially under the Tabarwa umbrella. Perhaps another announcement or another sharing. Some of our Sangha members, our community members, are actively having some meetings about developing a nonprofit organization in the U.S. for doing social and public works abroad. Because of the tradition that I am a part of, Tabarwa, there are many opportunities for us to do actions of direct generosity in Myanmar and in other countries around the world. So we're looking at developing this nonprofit in the United States out of our Sangha so that we can do fundraising and really move forward in doing a lot of good deeds around the world and connecting people to the Dhamma and providing housing, food, healthcare, teachings. So it's a big project, it's a big vision, but I think we're in a good place to to do that. So if you have experience with starting a nonprofit, if you consider that you would like to be on the board when we do start the nonprofit, please send me a message or let me know, and I'll connect you with the working group. And this will all be handled and managed and run by our lay community. So I won't be like on the board or something like that, but just the monk, the Bhante, spiritual advisor. And yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot happening. So I will be here in Italy until my visa runs out, so about 3 months. And I'll actually be going to Istanbul, Turkey on the 19th and staying there for a few days and doing some teachings in Turkey. And then I will come back here to the center in the south and stay as long as my visa allows. So during that time, the opportunity is open to come here to Italy and practice some meditation, do some retreat here at our Southern Italian Center. And then from there, the next opportunity to join for in-person retreat, in-person training, in-person community practice will be in Bodh Gaya, India, beginning in August. So both of those places, Italy for about the next 2.5 months or so, I'll be here. You're welcome to come here. And then beginning in August, we will be in Bodh Gaya, India for a 3-month retreat with the full Tabarwa Sangha. So there's going to be hundreds of monks and nuns there. And when we are talking about Tabarwa, and really whenever I'm inviting the community to come and practice with me, there's no expense, there's no expectation around money. Everything that I do and everything that Tabarwa does, our organization, Siyada Otamasara's organization, everything is offered freely. So food and housing and shelter are available, and there won't be some expectation of payment. It's very different from what Western Dharma groups are doing. It's very, very different from that. With like you go to a retreat for 7 days and you're expected to pay $800 or something like that. If you come here for a month, you're not expected to pay anything. So the same with Bodh Gaya, India, but it's it's good if you have some, you're prepared to help, to support, to take care of yourself if you need to. That's also important. Okay, before we wrap up, I just want to express my gratitude to the Sangha, to the community. Thank you all for trusting me to allow me to give these teachings and these guidances. I will try to do my best, and I will try to improve. I'm still a young monk and a young person, but that's no excuse. I will try to do better. and offer more robust opportunities and resources and teachings to the community. I'm really grateful for everyone's patience and generosity, and I have so much hope about us moving forward in in our spiritual lives, alone, together. So let's finish with a sharing of the merit. So we can all bring our hands together and then repeat after me as we share the blessings, the goodness, the wholesomeness. If you've got it, if you don't have it, then I guess it's okay. You can't share it, but I tend to feel after these meetings a lot of joy, a lot of abundance. So let's share the merits together. May all the merits that we have done till now be dedicated and shared out towards all sentient beings. May all beings receive and rejoice in our merits. May it be so. May it be so. May it truly be so. Sadhu. 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 Thank you, Sangha. See you again soon.